The dsum function is only one of a handful of different database functions that are built inside of Microsoft Excel. We're going to take a look at a couple others here in the next couple of videos. But the nice thing is, once you learn how to use one of the database functions, such as dsum, you really need to understand now how to work with the others, because they're exactly the same, built exactly the same. The only difference is the function that you're using. So dsum, it sums the range of cells, right? Well, you've also got daverage. You use it the exact same way. You set up the header, the criteria. The only difference is the calculation provides an average. You've also got dcount and a few others. But setting them up, utilizing them, exactly the same. Excel does the work for you, just with the different calculation, whether you're providing a sum, an average, or a count, or a number of other ones. Let's take a look at working one of them. Let's take a look at the daverage function. So just to make this a little bit cleaner, instead of total sales, I'm going to say, I'm going to put sum up there, sum total sales, just so we can distinguish between what we're working with here. And then down below, actually, let's do it over here. I'm going to go into K2, and I'm going to put in an average, I'll just abbreviate here, an average sales. There we go. Let's make that a little bit wider. And just to clean up the numbers, I'm going to format that J2 cell as a currency amount. And just because I can, I'm going to bump up the font size as well. All right, looks good. Totally not necessary, but looks good. All right, so now I've got my average sales here, and I'm just going to use my same criteria section. We can do and or statements exactly the same way that we did it with the dsum. Let's start out with the simple one, and then I'll give you an opportunity to practice, and you can do whatever you like. So I'm going to jump into K3, and again, I'm going to start typing this out by hand. I'm going to say equals average. I'm going to open up a parentheses. Now, we're not doing average, although average is in there, right? I need to include the D. So I'm going to say equals D average. There it is. I'll give that a double click. And just like the dsum, you've got your database, your field, and your criteria. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is the internal calculation that Excel is going to do for you in finding the average. So first thing I'm going to drop in there is the database. So I'm going to grab from A1 to F59, comma. The next thing it wants to know is the field. That's the F1, because I want to get the average of the total sales column, comma. The last thing it wants to know is the criteria. Now remember, we already set up headers and some values or criteria down below. For this one, I'm going to get the average average sales for the category of rent. So I'm just going to get I2 and I3. I'm going to leave the rest of it off. You can adjust it. You can do what you like in here. You can use the or, use the and, whatever you want. But just to demonstrate, it's really the same function. This time we're just getting the average. I'll close the parentheses. So we've got equals daverage, open parentheses, A1 to F59, that's your list, comma, F1, the column that you want to average, comma, I2 to I3. That's our criteria. I'll hit my enter key. So for the average sales for the category equals rent, we got 17,790. And just for fun, let's format that to get the currency symbol in there. And I got to bump that up in size as well. All right, there we go. That's it. This is your daverage. Should feel pretty similar to working with the dsum. Actually, it should feel exactly like you're working with the dsum. The only difference is the output, because we're now getting the average. So try this one out and feel free to experiment. Try some different criteria in there. Now realize that both of these are referencing this section. You could create other tables down below and then mix up the criteria if you'd like to. But I'll just stick with the one here and we'll move on. Try it out. Get the daverage for total sales where category is equal to rent.